good morning, and welcome to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33, WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit. And my wish for you is the happiest of holidays and a peaceful holiday, a progressive holiday, and of course, a fruitful holiday. I'd like to first send my prayers out to the Bakari family. The, their father was in an accident this week, and we wish him the very, very best. And now I'd like to introduce my guests. I'm real excited about them. Mrs. Barika Pace. Good morning, Barika.
Good morning, Brenda.
And Sean Whitehead. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just fine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they have a pilot film out, and this is a wonderful film because it's based on something very interesting, and it's called The 10th, based off of W.E.B. Du Bois. It's supposed to be Dubois. Talented 10th. Why don't you tell us a little about it, Barika?
I'll be happy to. So, the film it's based off the concept of W.E.B. Du Bois's The Talented 10th. The idea that 10%, the successful 10%, will pull up the rest of the community. And so we wrote this story about 5 successful African-American men, their families, and their life experiences here in Detroit. It's a fictional tale, but it's meant to be a nighttime drama, something to really reflect the diversity in the African-American culture.
Wow. And Sean, you were involved in it.
Yeah, I worked as a casting director and also as one of the producers, and I had a small acting role
I
as
was
well.
going to ask if you had an acting role.
Yes, I
Did you
did.
have an acting role?
No, I stay out in front of the cameras at all times.
Well, before you see, these people are so young and they've done such a wonderful, wonderful thing. Let's find a little about them and their background. Barika, tell us about where you went to school, everything like that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I grew up here in Michigan. Lived in Oak Park all my life when I was a child. Grew up there. Went to school with your son over at Roosevelt Middle School, and then went on to Mercy High School. I'm just a local girl. Graduated from MSU with a bachelor's degree. Got my master's at Wayne State. So just true to Michigan.
And were they in film or anything?
You know, surprisingly not. My background is sociology and economics. And I went to James Madison College, and that's probably why Du Bois, kind of learned about him in one of my sociology classes with Dr. Stokes.
Now, didn't he change the concept a little bit, change on that talented 10th concept a bit?
He did. He revisited. It was a talented 10th, revisited. He saw a lot of the flaws with his theory, and oddly enough, there's some of the irony that kind of comes out through the drama series.
Well, we'll get back to those flaws in his theory in just a moment. Now, Sean, tell me about yourself.
I'm also from Michigan. Went to Royal Oak Shrine Catholic High School. From there, I went to Michigan State, just like my sister.
Michigan
Go
State
Spartans.
is so much in the news.
In the Rose Bowl. Got to say go green.
Yeah.
And then also, now I'm in law school at Case Western Reserve University.
Okay.
Over the past 3 years, I've co-founded my company along with my business partner, Steve Bolton. And it's called AIP Talent Agency and Entertainment Management. And that's kind of how we've gotten.
You didn't go undergrad at Case Western? Okay.
No, just law school at Case.
Okay, because I know somebody in grad school at Case.
Oh, really?
Brian, Brian, I'll think of it.
It's a small school, so
Yeah.
it's a lot smaller than
might
Michigan
know.
State.
He's a
so-
Kappa.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm Phi Beta Sigma.
Okay,
So Greek
okay.
is all right, though.
So what kind of lawyer do you want to be?
Mainly, my number one option is to be an entertainment lawyer.
Right.
I'm done with law school in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So I just got home for the after finals, and so just trying to relax and work on the movie as much as I can.
Right. So when you let's revisit W.E.B. Du Bois' concept of the talented 10th. What were the improvements, or when he revisited it, what did he think?
You know, what's interesting, if you go back and read Du Bois's work, was what he was finding out was that America had changed the African American culture so much, and that there was a competition between rugged individualism and this sense of community that he hoped to forge. And so as he revisited his theory, he had to refine it, because America is in some ways, that concept of you pull yourself up by your own bootstrap. And sometimes we get sucked into that. But at the same time, there's the conflict of having to put your community first. So,
Right. Okay, I'd like to ask you all something. It's kind of on the subject, not on the subject. It's about Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Harry Belafonte have had some issues, And my thing with Jay-Z, his foundation, he has a foundation. He only gave $6,000 to that foundation. I just have a feeling that he doesn't have much sense of community above himself. I just think, James Earl Jones once said, along with fame comes responsibility. I have an issue with that. What do you think? I know I'm just kind of putting
putting this on the spot. With Jay-Z, I agree with you to some extent about what you said about him being pretty much just about himself, Jay-Z. As far as what he's done recently, one thing that I did like, and I kind of model myself after, is he started doing a talent agency. And kind of one of the reasons why he's doing that, he's representing Kevin Durant, who's one of the best basketball players in the world, and same with Robinson Cano. And one of the reasons that he's doing that is because he feels like he can help kind of that top 10% manage their money better. He feels like they're being exploited. So I did admire him for that, but yes, there are some questions about his donations and his charity giving that I do, put into question as far as Jay-Z and his donations.
I just don't think his sense of community, though, is out there the way it should be, in my opinion. And there are a lot of people, you don't have to boast about what you do. Like Oprah Winfrey, she did a lot of things, but there were a lot of things that people didn't know she did.
right.
Like for the
Absolutely.
Morehouse men and so forth and so on. But, I just was so disappointed but not surprised that he did not give more to his own charity. And then the thing with Barney's and all of that. So, as far as your film is concerned, can you tell me a little about the families? Was it 5 different families?
It is. It's 5 different families. So when you see it, you'll find out there is Ronald Ellis, who is so community driven. He wants to run for Attorney General. He wants to change the world.
Birmingham?
And they live in Birmingham,
Michigan. Okay.
But he's the guy that wants to kind of give back.
Right.
He's that conscious, that voice of conscience throughout the show. Then there's folks like Sean's character, Ty Bennington, who, he's a football player. He's out there, not necessarily as grounded as Ronald, but maybe along those lines of focused on the materialism.
Now, is Ty married?
Ty is divorced. And he starts the show divorced. Starts to show with a lot of drama with his ex-wife and as a paternity situation, and he's fighting for custody of his daughter. So his life is a little in shambles. Hectic.
Yeah, some baby mama drama.
Drama.
Oh, Lord. And so the other 3 men.
So then there's Dre, who is FBI agent, and very much concerned about crime in the city. And he's just a straight-up guy, straight-laced guy. Always wants to do the right thing. The letter of the law is very black and white for him.
Okay.
And he finds himself in a situation. He runs back into the love of his life that left him 18 years ago.
Oh.
And she's got a surprise for him, but we won't reveal that.
Okay.
And then finally there's David, and David is suffering quite a bit. He's retired from basketball. He has his own talk show now. And he's got a lot of conflicts in his life. He was abused by his stepfather, and he's dealing with that situation and trying to overcome the abuse.
Now, we have a trailer from the film here. So maybe we'll take a look at that in just a moment if we're ready.
I'm going for a drive, and when I get back, I don't want you here.
Richard, wait. Where are you going?
Oh!
He always used to tell me not to to go driving on Highland Road. And then he just went driving on Highland Road. In a storm.
You're a legend. I'm an unfit parent. Miss Candy Cane? That was her stripper name. Put that in your damn subpoena.
Go to How Ty.
Baby? I'm having a baby?
The child you're carrying will face severe challenges, Nicole.
Look, I'm not some patient off the street. I get it, okay? I understand.
Hey, it's your sister.
What do Gwen want now?
It's about your father.
Tell her mom. See? All right, just tell her mom.
He's in the hospital today. He had a stroke.
Say something.
What do you want me to say?
Just tell me what you want.
I want the 18 years you stole from me. I want a relationship with my son.
Wow. Wow, the acting seems very, very good. I saw Don Couture in there, who is one of my actors and everything. Now, who directed the film?
This film was directed by who's become a good friend of ours, Jerry J. Hayes.
Okay, Jerry. Shout out to Jerry.
We all love Jerry.
We love Jerry. Jerry came back to the film industry here in Michigan in 2013. He left L.A., and he really is invested in making the film industry here in Michigan work, so we really appreciate him.
Well, I could dig it. I hope to meet him soon because that's something we are involved in my other piece of life. So the actors, how long was your, wait, I got to ask you about the script. Did you know how to write a screenplay originally, or?
Yeah, I took quite a bit of creative writing courses at MSU, and my passion, I just kind of gravitated toward writing screenplays. And so I've taken several courses at MSU, and in that area, that's just an area that I kind of got inspired to write in.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. What about you? You did the casting. So do you have a big acting background or directing background? Do you have a background in this?
Pretty much my background is in entertainment, so our talent agency focuses on music, sports, and TV and film. So we've been doing that for the past 3 years, and this was kind of my coming out party as far as the talent agency and actually casting this wonderful cast of 36 different actors, 35 being from Michigan. So it was great that I was able to stay true to our Detroit roots here.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. It seems like you did a really excellent job.
Thank you.
So how long did it take to make this pilot?
The production itself was 5 days. Fred Mossman's crew worked tirelessly 18 hours a day sometimes to make that happen in 5 days. So it was just a very compressed schedule. But the pre-production was, what would you say, Sean, about four months?
Right. We started probably in March. We started doing casting calls, and it got pretty heavy during the summer, and then so it was a good 4 or 5 months where we were doing casting, sold out casting calls each week, almost 15 people for a couple hours.
So where did you do your casting?
Birmingham Community House was wonderful to let us use their location for most of the casting calls. We had 5 different casting calls, and then we also did web series casting calls for people that were in New York, Chicago, and areas like that.
Right. Excellent, excellent. So the homes, where did you get the homes, or people donated their homes? Talk about that, because location is important.
It is very important. We were just really blessed to have my cousin, Sylvia Davis, loan us her house. We used my house. The people at the 515 Cafe closed their doors down for us, and we taped there. You get to see the coffee house scenes, but they're beautiful. And then the Birmingham Community Center was also very gracious to let us come and use their facility as the Birmingham Country Club. So
that's
wonderful.
Excellent. That, you mean the community house or the country club?
We use the Birmingham Community House as the West Birmingham Country Club. That's our scene. So.
Okay, that's wonderful. Why did you choose the city of Birmingham? I should know, but tell the audience.
Kind of when you look at Oakland County being the second largest per capita place for as far as income, other than Orange County, it was kind of the location, kind of where we can take a macro location and it really exemplify the 10th. As far as we didn't have to go to Hollywood, we had it right here in Birmingham. When Kobe Bryant comes to play, he stays in Birmingham.
Right.
And so kind of going back to your Jay-Z question, the talent at 10th. And that's kind of where they are, and showing really the parallels between Detroit and Birmingham is really a story that's never been told from a Michigan perspective, we felt.
Absolutely, absolutely not. So your character, who is very civic-minded, community-oriented, what are some of the things that he is trying to do?
You know, Ronald is very much so kind of paralleling the political issues here in Detroit with the financial takeover. They thought about reporting the financial czar. He's very much opposed to those things. He grew up with a father who was civil rights minded, and he wants to keep Detroit voters voting. And so,
you know, that's a very interesting thing, because there's so many people who live outside of Detroit who still are so invested in what's happening in Detroit, especially black people who live outside. I know of black people who live outside of Detroit who don't even vote in the elections in the cities they moved into. They don't. They're just into Detroit. You know, just
I think
like
there's
him.
always that connection between the suburbs. Fate is always linked to the city of Detroit,
Well,
and we're just there's this
yeah,
connection. You
and a
just
lot
don't
of
lose it.
people grew up in Detroit,
right?
And so that's home for a lot of people. Now, aren't you having a viewing or showing of the film?
We are January 2nd at the Main Art Theater in Royal Oak, 8:30 p.m. for VIP. 9:30 the pilot will air. We hope to see everyone there.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait. I hope I can get over there to see it. So that's how much is it?
The film is $10 admission. If you want VIP, it's $25, and it gives you opportunity to meet the cast. And we have a lot of great giveaways from a lot of community people who have donated to us. They'll be given away during that time. So
excellent, totally excellent. And hopefully, what happens next after that? After you do the showing, what happens? Have you sent it out to be judged, or?
That's what we're doing. We're looking at several film festivals. We want to enter that in as well. Sean and Jerry have been working their contacts with different networks to get it viewed. We would love to see it on the air so that people can really get a perspective of Detroit.
Well, it seems to be such a quality film. It seems to be really quality, and that's what I'm excited about. The sound is good. You don't hear the hollows. Just a lot of things that are associated with some films, you know. And I'm just so proud to know you all, and I'm so excited about you, and everybody out there needs to be excited about these two young people who are trying to do film right here in Michigan, using Michigan cast and crew, and just showing a different side of us.
Yes.
And that's important. Everything isn't about, even though there's a little baby mama drama in there, but everything isn't, everybody doesn't break out into song in this. It's just a story. It's just a story.
We want people to feel, when Barack Obama ran, people said, we don't know this guy. Who was this guy? We don't know what he's about. And we wanted to show, African Americans, successful African Americans doing their thing. And, we're as much a part of the fabric of America as anyone else.
Absolutely. That's very, very important. And they have to know that people who are affluent, they still have issues.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's very important too, because a lot of people resent people who have money. I don't know why. I really don't understand why. Because a lot of that money is made from hard work.
They have issues and they have responsibilities as well, and that's kind of the essence of the 10th, is that this top 10%, the Barack Obamas, the Oprah Winfreys, the Jay-Z's, they have an obligation to uplift that other 90%, and that's what we're showing in a 2014-2013 drama.
I hope so. I'm excited about it. I'm just excited about your future, and I'm excited about the 10th. I can't wait to see it myself. And ladies and gentlemen, the Main Art Theater, January 2nd, at what time?
8:30.
And can they buy tickets in advance?
And you can buy tickets online. Visit us at www.the10thfilm.com.
Is it the 10th, 10?
That's right, 10thfilm.com.
Okay, so looking forward to seeing you there. ladies and gentlemen. Now we'll be back in just a moment with Dr. Margarette Betts. Good morning, and welcome once again to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33 WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit. And it is my pleasure to bring to you Dr. Margarette Betts. Good morning, Dr. Betts.
Good morning, and I am in second heaven. I'm in second heaven just being here. Just to see you again. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, I promised you I'd get you back
Yes, you
here
did.
and back
Yes, you
with
did.
me and everything like that. Well, this season, I mean, it just seemed like Christmas has come upon us so quickly. And hopefully we can talk to the people a little bit about that and about things to watch out for and everything. But I want to get right into that. And if our audience has questions, of course, they could call in with questions. Now, I kind of got into, now you're still practicing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know anything else to do.
I know.
Other than practice medicine.
I understand. I understand. Now, health screenings. And now I'm not just going to talk about women, but men too. What are some basic health screenings they should get every year?
Well, certainly we want to make sure that the entire body from hair follicle to toenail is
Hair follicle
to toenail.
Oh.
Is functioning in harmony. And if something is out of disharmony, it leads to disease. The major health screenings that we are concerned about are those, of course, that cause cancer, heart disease, diabetes, stroke, etc. So when you understand that, just some basic, and colon cancer, we have significant screening tools to determine your risk, as well as if it's a possibility. So what we do is just go from head to toe. You want to make sure you know your numbers, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your weight.
Now, what are the perfect blood pressure numbers?
Anything less than 120/80 is normal.
Okay.
Between 120/80 and 140/90 is pre-hypertensive.
Okay.
Anything over 140/90 and is hypertensive, period. A lot of people will say, oh, this is normal for me to be 200/100. It's not normal. And the longer you have a blood pressure that high, the more of a risk you're taking to have a stroke or a heart attack or kidney failure.
Yes, a stroke, heart attack, or kidney failure. Oh, gee.
And all you need to do is go by one of the dialysis units. Just take a look in the window, and you'll see so many young men and women.
It seems like in the last few years you see so many of these units. What happened? Well, how did they all it just seemed like they popped up?
Well, because of the need. They popped up because we decided that we weren't going to take care of ourselves. We decided that we weren't going to get our blood pressures taken or worry about our blood pressure. I have a 51-year-old in the rehab facility who his family said he was a handsome guy and just threw caution to the wind. He knew he had high blood pressure, but now he can't talk and cannot move the right side of his body. You know, when you have a stroke, the brain operates the opposite side of your body, and the speech center is on the left. So if you have a left-sided stroke, you're not going to be able to talk, and your right arm and right side is paralyzed. If you have a right-sided stroke, you will regain your ability to speak.
But will it cause paralysis somewhere else, that right side?
Depending on how severe it is.
My goodness.
A little, we call it a mini stroke, that's what most patients will call it, is a transient ischemic attack. It's like a stroke warning. If you don't do something, pretty soon you're going to have the big one. So the numbers, blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol.
Are there any symptoms that you might have high blood pressure?
Well, usually not, because we define high blood pressure is a silent killer. And normally what that means, well, really what it means is you're feeling fine right this second, the next second you're dead. You have very little symptoms. Those who are lucky will have a severe headache, blurred vision, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath. And that we call a hypertensive crisis. When it's a hypertensive crisis, you need to get your blood pressure lowered fast, quick, in a hurry.
And how would that happen?
What do you mean?
You'd have to
Going to
take
your
some
doctor's office?
medication.
Absolutely. And I
Okay.
think that's basically the problem, because most people don't want to take medication. They want to be able to rest, vinegar, garlic. I'm just trying to share with you some of the tactics and techniques, but those really don't work well. They really don't. If you're gonna eat garlic will strengthen the heart muscles, and they have some natural nutrients in it. But it's not. You cannot take enough garlic to lower your blood pressure. You take garlic, you got to exercise, you got to decrease your salt. Salt for almost everyone, especially African Americans, is deadly on the kidneys, and the kidneys control the level of your blood pressure.
What if you're experiencing a little bit of kidney failure? Your physicals have said, well, it's happening a little bit. What should you do in order not to go into...
What's a little bit?
Oh, because I've been told that you can have... Because somebody was talking to me about, they bought a kidney cookbook. There's a cookbook that's good for people who are going into a little kidney failure.
Well, certainly there are 4 or 5 stages to kidney disease.
Okay.
As we age, and I share with everyone, if your hair grays and your skin wrinkles, your organs gray and wrinkle. And if you slow down, they're going to slow down.
Okay.
So a little kidney failure, you can have, if it's stages 1 is normal. If you have stages 1 through 5, you can live normally with a stage 3. If you just control your diet. And buying a book, it may be well for some, but there are certain basic things. I always tell my patients, nothing in a bag, bottle, box, or can, because it has all the salt, all the impurities, all the preservatives, pesticides, etc. We have to go back to what is good and great, and we have to eat. We have to buy our food and prepare our food.
Right. My daughter is talking about going clean. She's calling it clean.
Going clean. And nowadays, it's so easy to go clean. It's so easy to buy your food and cook it. And we don't need to have the lard. We were talking last night about someone, when they grew up, they lived on lard, and they were skinny as a rail.
Lard?
On lard, because that's what their mother cooked with. But this was maybe 40 years ago. But now we know, even though we did not have the diseases that we have now, we walked, we played outside, and as little kids.
Yeah.
Who skips anymore? Ask
we-
a person under 20 what is skipping, or maybe under 10. They don't know.
They don't know.
Who plays hopscotch and play hide and seek?
Hide and seek.
All of those activities that we had to participate in because we had to be outside
Right.
was really helping us to maintain our health. And health is like money in the bank. We save for our retirement. If we take care of ourselves from maybe from birth to age 30, 40, we can really put it in the bank and live a normal, comfortable, healthy life after that. It's just the abuse and neglect of our bodies between 20 and 40 that creates havoc from 40 on up.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, well, a lot of people, and we talked about this before, but I wanted to get a difference. A lot of people have been going vegan. Now, there's a difference between a vegetarian and a vegan,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Could you talk about that, please?
Vegetarians will some will eat eggs and milk, some will eat only milk. They will eat some animal products. Let me just make it as simple as possible. And vegans the orthodox vegans will not wear leather shoes or fur. They will not eat anything that has flesh in it. And we say flesh, so we won't say meat. Meat is usually pork, beef and pork. But flesh is egg, cheese, anything that's made with flesh. Egg, cheese, milk, all of it. So when you're a vegan...
Chicken, too.
Chicken, too. That's why we add flesh. I mentioned flesh. A liberal vegan will wear fur. They will just usually realize or practice their veganism just by what they eat. And usually most vegans espouse to a plant-based diet.
Plant-based.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You're frowning like no meat.
No, I know I'm not. No, I'm just thinking, what are some things that,
Plant-based diet, probably 90 to 95% of your food is plants. We can get much better protein from beans, peas, and rice than we can get from a steak. It helps it assimilates or is digested much better. It has many more nutrients in it for the body as well.
oh, okay. Isn't that interesting?
Yes,
ladies and
yes.
gentlemen?
And when we were younger, at least when I was younger, we didn't eat meat every day. It was a delicacy, and it was
Sometimes
special.
we didn't have meat.
Well, I was getting to that. We didn't have it not to eat it, but we were healthier. I wanted to be a doctor, not because I stayed in the doctor's office. It was just something in me. But the first time I saw a doctor, excuse me, is when I had my first child.
Right.
We just didn't go to the doctors like this age in this population.
It's funny, my mother was in the hospital a couple of years ago. She had a mild heart attack, and they came in and said, well, how many times have you been in the hospital? She said, I've never been in the hospital. And she was 92 at the time.
Yes, yes.
And she's getting ready to turn 94 next week.
And then, and I'm sure you need to learn, you need to write down, even tape your mother's. How did you do this? What did you do? What did you cook? How did you pray, love, etc.? Because it's a
She's
whole holistic
disciplined.
approach.
My mother's
Absolutely,
very
you've got to be
disciplined.
disciplined.
And so you have to be disciplined. She's a retired nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in those days, she was at Ford Hospital walking all the time. She always walked faster than all of us. And she never drank or smoked.
So those are three. Well, she was in the healthcare. She did exercise almost every day.
Every day.
She never drank and smoked. She's
Right.
92, right?
She's still, she'll be 94 next week.
Yeah.
And she has a bike a stationary bike that she rides.
Very good. So she's still exercising.
Yes, she does.
You know-
Even though, she has some health issues, but nothing, I mean, I thank God for how healthy she is.
Yeah, I was blessed to have a patient who left this earth 2 months before she turned 115. Yes, and when I would call her medication in, I'd say she was born in 1898. the pharmacist would say, our computers don't go back that far. I say, she does. But, and I tried to get out of her as much as possible.
Yeah.
Everything, in terms of her longevity.
Right.
Certainly, I'm sure she has a longevity gene, and I was not able to, I'm not that advanced of a scientist to be able to prove that. But her daughter is 94 at that time, or 90, her daughter was 94, and her granddaughter was in her 60s. So tell me, there are 3 generations that are still alive, and these people, all of them are seniors. We very rarely have 3 generations that age, that old.
Right, absolutely.
But she said what she did yesterday, she would try and do tomorrow. And she only ate what she cooked. Now, that's kind of hard for us. And one thing she said, and she said a lot of stuff, she said she didn't know how to die. Who says that? Who say they don't know how to die? She was not going to give up. She was not going to fit into, I'm 60 now, I can't do this. I'm 70 now, I can't do this.
Right.
And she would...
Well, as long as, and your mind is telling you want to do this, you want to do that, and you try your best, or at least I think you should try your best to do it.
Very active, very able. At church, Pastor Adams would say, they would mention Mother Hines, and everybody said, let's congratulate Mother Hines, she's 104. She'd walk down the aisle waving, looking at everybody. Let's say happy birthday to Mother Hines, she's 108. She just walked down waving, and everybody would stand up and applaud. It was almost like a miracle, really.
Wow, amazing.
So we can live in Detroit in 2013 to be that age. We have to honor our bodies as God has asked us to. And I ask patients, if Christ came to you and said, I'm going to give you a gift, hold on to it till I come back, you'd sleep with your eyes open.
Yes.
And he actually did that when he gave us life. So we have to treat our bodies really like a living sacrifice.
Right.
And we got to sacrifice the fast foods, the junk foods, the fried foods, etc.
I was talking to someone yesterday evening who said their family said, we're really getting on this, we're going to all lose weight after Christmas time. I said, well, I already started my thing. They said, before the holidays? I said, yes, before the holidays, because I want to live to see more holidays.
More holidays.
You know? And why is weight loss so important to diabetics and to everybody? Why, to keep a reasonable weight?
Well, for diabetics, and most of us aren't born diabetics. We are diagnosed after we either become sedentary or don't move a lot, or we gain weight. And the basic premise or the physiology is fat cells act like a sponge to the insulin. The body secretes insulin, these fat cells absorb it, and it's not allowed to act on the sugar. The body, you eat, most of the food turns into glucose, which increases in the body. If the insulin cannot carry that glucose into the tissues, it's going to elevate in the blood. And to have it over 120, between 120 and 150, it slowly eats into the blood vessels and creates havoc. And in medical school, we were taught to know all the complications of diabetes was to know almost all of medicine. So it can do almost anything. And it does. It wreaks havoc on the body.
What about heredity as far as diabetes is concerned?
Well, usually the hereditary aspect of diabetes is a type 1, the insulin-dependent diabetes. Okay. But when you develop diabetes when you're 20, 30, 40, and as you gain weight, it's usually acquired. And if your mother had diabetes or father when they were 20 or 30, if you cook and eat like your mother, and we normally do, you're going to inherit that tendency, not necessarily that gene. So it's an environmental aspect instead of a hereditary aspect.
I just went back to something you said. I was thinking about my mother, and I just thought, I said, my mother cooks rice every day. And you had mentioned rice, and that's something that's not my bailiwick, but rice every day, and I said, that's something. That
well, there are
be one
some
of the
people
reasons.
whose staple is rice. And for rice, for a lot are it's a starch that will fill you up. And it's like beans back in the, before this affluence, before we were able to have the jobs. We ate a lot of beans, or our parents cooked a lot of beans and cornbread, et cetera, to fill us up. And rice does the same thing.
Okay, that's really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So diabetics should focus on losing weight, getting down to a manageable weight.
Yeah, and it's hard. And I was sharing with a patient yesterday. She said, well, why is this happening to me? First of all, the brain receives 80% of all of the sugar, and it wants 5% more every day. So you want to eat more and more. And then the fat cells have a memory. We just found this out about 10 years ago. They exist to perpetuate themselves.
Wow.
So they send this is the way I feel, because sometimes you have to evaluate what's going on in your body. They send a silent alarm out that make you want to eat, and the alarm is turned off when you eat too much. Then by the time you eat too much, you get your senses back. You feel bad, or why did I do that? Or I'm not going to do that next time, etc. For all of us.
You binge on something. You say, "Oh gosh, why?"
Why did
right. Oh, why? And then sometimes if you eat too much, you get tired. We call it the itis, but people get so want to sleep.
Want to sleep.
Why is that?
Because the brain needs 80% of the energy, the oxygen, the blood supply to maintain your consciousness. When you eat too much, the food has to be digested.
Right.
So all the energy in the blood goes to the stomach to digest your food. It's almost the brain is saying, "I'm going to help you out. I'm going to sit back for a second." So we really, if you are drowsy after you eat, you have eaten too much. You've absolutely eaten too much, and too many of the rich foods.
Well, I'll never forget, and this was years ago, and I would never do this again. I took my students to Stratford to see a play. Mm-hmm. So, it was financed by one of the auto companies or something, and the auto company exec came on the bus with us, and so they stopped by McDonald's just before we went in to see the play, and they told the students to order everything they wanted. I noticed that during the play, I looked down the aisle, everybody had I saw all these headbacks.
So you do that after the play, not before.
I had never seen it. I mean, I chuckled, but that was totally ridiculous. So I suggest, and I thought about our visit when we were on Arthea, we were with Arthea, and every time I got a little bit of dressing, I thought of you.
Did you?
Yes,
Lovingly, I hope.
I did. I said, oh, don't take it away. I was sending it away, but I did eat a little more than a palmful and everything. So what is the best way for people to start off the new year? I mean, oh, goodness, we got 2 minutes. We got less than 2 minutes, but a good way for people to start off the new year healthy.
Make small commitments.
Yes.
Take small steps. Don't say you're going to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. So you're going to continue to lose weight till you feel comfortable about the way you look.
Right.
And the way you feel and your health.
Right.
Most times we think we're hungry, but we're thirsty. So you really need to understand what water is and how it helps the body.
Right, right.
Drink a glass of water. Before you eat, drink an entire glass of water. Move your body. Now we have to define exercise. And it is increasing your heart rate to 110 to 120 for at least 20 minutes.
Wow.
So you really, walking back and forth, you got to keep doing it.
Right, right. Well,
Deny yourself. Don't eat after 8. If you buy the junk food, I always tell my patients, if it's in your kitchen, it's in your stomach. Because it's going to call your name until the bag is empty.
Until it beats you down.
Yes. And you're going to go and pick.
That's
So don't
what
buy it.
Lay's potato chip does. They beat you down until you say just one more.
But you pay for them to beat you down.
Yes, you do. And Dr. Betts, golly, I got to have you back. I got to have you back because it's all.
Yeah, we get into one subject and then we just go down that.
Well, but
it's so much that's needed
we
and
have
so much
to
information.
do that.
Yes.
And I mean, I hate to monopolize your world, but I just got to have you back in a few weeks after the holiday. Can I?
Sure.
And we could do a whole show.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again. Well, next Friday. I'm going to be off for a couple of weeks, but I want you to have a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday.
Safe.
And God bless everybody, and may everything be merry and bright and safe, and God loves you.
And so do I.